What if there was a podcast where one NFL legend talked about football? What about two NFL legends, huh? What about three? This is Wideout's World, where the gridiron comes alive. NFL legends Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Three NFL legends, breaking down the game from the ultimate insider perspective. Game recaps, upcoming previews, and exclusive analysis straight from the minds of those who've been in the trenches. Wideout's World. Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Ready for football, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we ready?
You can tell I'm at home by myself.
Yeah, if you don't spray some Febreze or something like that, you gonna stay home by yourself.
It's gonna be next month before they be here, so it'll be all long gone.
Yeah, you better hope so. He in the house smoking. She might be watching this. He in the house smoking. He in the house smoking a cigar. I'm telling.
Oh, I don't. I'm too old for whoopings.
I didn't say nothing about a whooping.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
You can get a freeze out.
Wide Out World. I'm your host, Michael Timpson, this evening. This is my co-host, Irving Fryar, and Fred, smoking a cigar, Barnett.
Smoking a cigar, Barnett.
All right. How
listen,
you doing, fella?
Well, good. Listen, JC is already on. Vincent Capriati is on. We got about 12 folk who were already on before we came on. Y'all introduce yourself, say something in the chat, shout us out so we can acknowledge you.
A shout out to Billy Bell. I think Billy had his surgery.
Oh, I thought he already had it.
Oh, I saw him with a patch on his face.
Yeah, he had it a while
on
ago.
Facebook.
He had it a while ago.
Oh, I just saw it.
Yeah.
Well, still shout out to him. He had surgery.
Shout out to you, Billy Bell.
He came out all right.
Billy Bell,
guys,
what's up?
It's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl time, man. You know, it's been a long time coming, but it's here.
It's been a long doggone season. Wearing me out.
Eagles and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
How about them Chiefs? So there you go, guys.
You starting already?
Hey,
Mike, let us remind you, Mike, that you are dead last in picks.
So he got nothing to lose. He got nothing to lose.
Exactly. Let her rip.
He got nothing to lose.
So let me ask you guys a question. Now, obviously, I got to the playoffs when I was with New England. I've never played in the Super Bowl. Now, Irving, if I'm not mistaken, you're the only one here that's played in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I scored in the Super Bowl too. Don't take my flowers away. We got whooped, but I scored.
Nice.
My bad. So you guys were playing against the Chicago Bears. You lost that game to Refrigerator Perry and the 85 Bears defense.
Yeah.
How was that experience, just the whole Super Bowl thing as a player? How was that experience for you?
Well, you know what, Mike? I'm going to answer that question, but I'm not so sure I'm the right person to ask that question to.
Well, you win. You're the only one here that's qualified.
Let's move on,
but
Mike.
But you know what? I wasn't focused. I was a young.
We're not going to hear what
you know me from back then. When you came, I was still not focused when you came on the Patriots. So for me, I just wasn't focused at that time. It was different. I think it's different now with NFL players. You know, they want to become an NFL player from the time they're kids. They come into high school and in college, and they have a plan for when they get into the NFL. They've already trained themselves specifically for their position. They already know about the position at that level, whether it's a receiver or a lineman or a defensive back, and they're more focused, at least in my case, than I was.
That's not what I'm talking. I'm saying just try to give.
But
hold on.
I'm going somewhere.
You going somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there
today.
I'm gonna get there today. So because of that, it really, you know, everybody touts it to be a big game, and it's obviously it's a lot more touted now than it was back then. But I thought we as a team, we put too much into it. We looked at it like it was the Super Bowl. We changed, you know, you hear people talking about, well, it's just another game. You have to treat it like it's just another game. We didn't do that. We changed our whole routine. We changed the daily routines in terms of when we met, how long we practiced, our curfews and all that kind of stuff. We was tight on us, and we were tight. When we finally got into the game, we were tight. And we did not play. I go back and watch that game. I've seen it several times. We made a lot of mistakes in the beginning part of that game that we just didn't make throughout the playoffs. We were a good team. And I think if we had just treated it like everybody says, treat it like it's another game. Keep your regular routine. Don't do anything extra. Don't throw yourself off. I think if we had done that, we probably would have played a better game.
We're talking about you. We're talking about you right now.
What about me?
That's what he asked. He asked, how did you feel about playing that?
Yeah, but that's good insight. I kind of get what you're saying.
All right, well, let me back up there.
Individually, I think he's saying individually and collectively that they did things that they normally didn't do, and it affected them as a team.
Mm-hmm. And by the time we came around, we were down by double digits.
Oh, really? Okay.
And incidentally, that game you said was in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, we set a record that game, Mike. We set a record.
By what?
We got beat the worst in Super Bowl history. We got beat by the most points in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, since then it's been surpassed.
How many points?
I forget what the score was, but it was 40 something to like maybe 17, something like that. I can't remember the score. Man. We got beat bad.
Mike, did you play in the playoff games? Did you play in any playoff games, Mike?
Yes, we played. I made it to one. We were 12-4 one year when Parcells' second year, and we played against Cleveland. We played against Cleveland.
I played in two playoff games. I played in Detroit here with Ray Rose. As a matter of fact, it was a year before you got here, Irv.
Yeah, Ray got coach of the year that year.
And we played in New Orleans. I think it was 93, 94. And then for me, it was, I mean, of course, not the Super Bowl, but it was like the game went so fast because it's like every play was just, you were so tuned in and focused. And the thing is, I didn't even realize how tired I was. And after the game, when we actually beat New Orleans, and then went to Dallas, got our butt kicked. But when that New Orleans game was over, it's like I just almost fainted. I was just so tired, but I was so wired. I was so in the zone, just trying to get it done. It was just, and it was, my first time actually in the playoffs. So, and I had a pretty good game as well too. Caught a couple touchdowns.
Obviously, it's a different vibe when you get into the playoffs and certainly the Super Bowl. So here it is, guys. We got some NFL news we need to get into. Didn't much happen. We were kind of expecting this week that we've been off, and they've been in with the Super Bowl. You normally get something that happened with some players, but everybody was pretty tight and right. Everybody kept it clean, so that was good. We didn't have any stories. So the only thing that's on the news that I can think of right now is Myles Garrett saying he wants to be traded, and the Saints job. The Saints job is kind of on hold. And I kind of think I know the reason why that Saints job hasn't been filled yet, because I think there's a person that's coaching that may very well be the front runner. So your thoughts on the Saints job being open and Myles Garrett saying that he wants to be out of there in Cleveland?
Well, the Eagles are pursuing Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I heard.
And
what they got to give up though, Irv?
I don't know what they have to give up, but if they get him, oh my goodness, with that front line,
it'll be lights out.
I'm sure they're going to give up some draft picks, maybe even a first round draft pick, and they'll give up a couple of players, but he'll be worth it. That cat, him and Jalen Carter, what?
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind? And Jordan Davis? Come on, man.
That would be ridiculous.
It would be absolutely ridiculous. And then just to stay in the same lane, Mike mentioned it. Yeah, the Saints have not hired a head coach. We know that teams want to hurry up and get their head coaches because they want to get their staff together so they can start planning for next year, particularly those teams who are not in the playoffs. They want to get a head start, get a jump. And I believe Kellen Moore is the front runner.
Yeah.
Which again, raises question in my mind because he's down there
Yeah.
in New Orleans right now. He's
Wow.
down there
Right
around
now.
the Saints right
Yeah.
now. So
Yes.
they're close. And listen, I can't emphasize this enough. I talked about it before last couple of weeks. As a human being who is a coach in the NFL, who is in his case an offensive coordinator, who has the opportunity, who knows for sure probably 95% that he's going to be a head coach.
Yeah.
He's down there in that area. Come on, man. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard as a human being not to think about that opportunity and what you're going to be doing in the moments to come or the days to come once obviously they're done with the season. So the time that he's thinking about what's going to be, he's not focusing on what he needs to do in the moment to win that Super Bowl.
Do you really believe that? And let me just ask you a question. If you were the offensive coordinator and you know you have taken your first year with an organization, you've taken a team offensively to the Super Bowl and that on NFC Championship, you score 55. I mean, how good are you feeling about yourself to go into now the Super Bowl in the city that you probably already did a deal with, just to say, let me show y'all how this is going to go. I disagree with you because I feel like inevitably it's a stage for him to say, New Orleans, let me show you how this thing is done. And I just feel like, I don't know if there's a lack of focus, so to speak, because the trophy's right there and he's one game away. And at the same time, too, he's on a stage in the city where he's probably going to be coaching, where it's probably a 90% chance that he's probably going to be there. So I don't know. I just think that it's an opportunity even for him just to kind of as like a peacock show his feathers. Like, hey, this is how I do it. And probably right soon after Super Bowl, he's going to get signed.
But let me say this: let's say for argument's sake that he is thinking that, okay, I'm going to show you, I'm the peacock, I'm going to show you what I can do. Well, where is that thought directed? That thought is not
what
directed.
Does it make? It's about.
It does make a difference.
It's about winning the Super Bowl.
I understand that, but that thought is on the Saints. It's not on the Eagles.
No. That thought is not out. That thought is within his own mind. There are things that I think about, and I wouldn't dare say it.
But what I'm saying
is, it motivates me.
The thought that's in his mind is not helping him focus on what he needs to do now. Oh, yes, it does. That thought is directed towards what's going to happen.
The thought is being successful. How successful can I show y'all I could be? And the thing is that the success of that Super Bowl game rolls into him signing, his deal a week or two after. Just a thought.
You're not understanding what I'm saying, so we're gonna leave it alone.
No, I do understand what you're saying. We just disagree.
Hold on.
No, we disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. I understand exactly what you're saying.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
I'm going to put a pin on it.
I just think you don't understand what I'm saying.
I think both of you make great points, but I will add this. At this point, how much more is there to be done to prepare for the game? Because you think about it, you've been doing the same plays all the while. You got a few wrinkles. We all know that. But for the most part, to your point earlier, Irv, you don't want to get so outside of what you normally do that now you become tight and you got new plays you're trying to put in this wrinkle and that wrinkle. So I think the job is done for the most part for preparing for the game. So I think that would relax him a little bit. So so the focus I think could be there because everything is pretty well done. That would be
at this point it is. Yeah, it should. What is this? What are we? Wednesday?
They got the script.
Yeah, they got everything. I mean, there's a little tweaking that will go on in the next couple of days, but by now, they should have a good hold on what it is they're going to use as the foundation of their attack towards one another. But still, I think, particularly because they're in New Orleans, that there's a potential distraction there. Just
Well, it's a whole bunch of distractions in Nolans.
Can't walk down the street.
So just watch, and observe, be conscious of the play calling, and particularly in tight situations.
Okay.
With the Eagles. With the Eagles.
All right. So hey, fellas. So what I wanted to do is to kind of give we kind of set the table for the Super Bowl. You know how you build up through the week. So we're going to set the table. So literally speaking, Super Bowl menu. So the whole idea behind the Super Bowl menu for our listeners and ourselves, you always want to get that perfect meal as you sit down and watch the game. And the only thing that messes up a good meal that you put together is when the doggone game's a blowout. That's when you be like, God, I cannot believe this. You get it all ready. So I want to know from you guys, what's the best meal? What's the meal you're looking to put together to get you ready for the Super Bowl?
But I'm gonna be real quick. You probably got a long list that I don't do. Wings, and more wings. That's it, bro.
That's it.
Give me all kind of wings with different sauces. Okay. Give me some blue cheese. Give me a bottle of bourbon, and I am glutton.
Even that bourbon. Hey, Mike, I think we should ask those who are watching. Vincent Capriati, Billy Bell is in the house. JC is in the house.
Billy Bell.
Holly Golightly is in the house. Eddie Casper is in the house. Who else? My mama's in the house. Tainted Rose is in the house. I said JC. Catherine Massa. Is that how you say that?
Massa.
Catherine Massa.
Bermuda. She's from Bermuda.
Okay, Sister Bermuda. All right.
Actually, that's my business partner. That's our business partner.
Okay. We should listen, for those of you who are watching. Yeah, for those of you who are watching, what is your best Super Bowl menu? What's your best Super Bowl menu? Throw it in the highlights or throw it in the comments, and we'll look at it, and after we finish saying what we're saying, we'll shout you out. Yeah.
What you got, Irv?
So my best Super Bowl menu is this. Yes. Barbecue wings, pepperoni pizza, and then slow cooked pulled pork on those Hawaiian rolls. Y'all know those Hawaiian rolls?
Yes, sir.
Good God Almighty! Good God, those sweet rolls. That slow cooked pulled pork on a Hawaiian roll in there, like a slider. What, man? And then a big glass of Arnold Palmer. Good God.
That sounds pretty good, man.
Yes, sir.
Right,
yes, sir.
So
Arnold Palmer's is lemonade and tea mixed together.
Tea and tea.
So you guys have
no tequila?
No tequila. No.
Oh,
not while I'm eating.
So I'm gonna give you the same thing you guys mentioned. You can't go wrong with wings. But I like to put together. There's a 3-bean turkey chili.
Oh Lord,
that
Jesus.
I like to put in the crock pot.
3 beans.
3 beans.
I forgot you cooked, Mike. I forgot that. Mike cooked.
Yeah, and I put that in the crock pot and let it just sit.
What 3 beans? What 3 beans? You remember? What 3 of the beans?
Pinto Northern and red beans. So then the last thing, burger sliders.
That's some farting going on now, boss.
On that Hawaiian bun that you talked about.
There you go.
That Hawaiian bun.
Yes, sir.
Little burger sliders. There you go. So that's my menu with some good old iced tea. That's it.
There you go. Yeah, Arnold Palmer and a half. Just a half Arnold Palmer. JC said mini cheesesteaks. JC said, she said, and mini cheesesteaks.
Mini cheesesteaks. That's not bad.
JC said, she said wings, pizza, chips, and dip, and mini cheesesteaks.
We didn't mention pizza. Pizza's a go-to. We didn't mention pizza.
I said pizza. I said pepperoni pizza. Okay. Yes, sir.
Do pizza.
I said barbecue wings, pepperoni pizza, and slow cooked pulled pork on those Hawaiian rolls. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's pretty good, man. We all hungry right now. So guys and listeners. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna build up and give you our predictions of the Super Bowl as we go along here and kind of go through some things just to set the table. Remember, just say set the table. That's what we're doing, setting the table. Okay. The next thing that we're setting the table for, so you can get ready for the Super Bowl. What is your best?
I'm sorry. Eddie Casper, I wanted to shout him out. Eddie Casper says seafood gumbo.
Seafood gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
And thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Mm.
Okay.
It goes with the Super Bowl, New Orleans. You know,
Mm.
yeah.
But everybody can't do that Super Bowl gumbo right. I hope he can, but everybody can't do that right.
Seafood gumbo. Yeah, no,
Seafood.
yeah. You need to know what you're doing for sure. Otherwise, I ain't eating it.
Yeah. So here's one, guys. The best Super Bowl commercial of all time.
I digress.
The best one. Okay.
I'm like Shark Tank. I'm out.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the first one. Here's three that's jar your memory, but I'm gonna pick.
I'll probably remember them. Yeah.
Okay. Wendy's. Where's the beef?
Remember the old lady. Yeah, the old lady.
Oh, that was a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, that was Super Bowl. Yeah.
That was like one of the first.
Oh my goodness.
The next one was, remember Betty White playing football, and she said, when she ate the Snickers, and she got tackled. That was Betty White. My number one. You guys will love this one. What's up?
Oh, that's right. That was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Budweiser commercial.
Budweiser, yeah. That went on for years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's interesting because some of those commercials stuck and they kept rolling them.
Yeah.
Kept using. Where's the beef?
Saying, what's up? Yeah. So those are what's up is my that's my number one pick.
So I have one, but my one, it was in 2022. You won't understand it if you have not seen the series Breaking Bad. Have you seen the series Breaking Bad?
No.
With the zombies or something?
No. Oh my gosh.
Okay, no.
I
hadn't.
Breaking Bad was a series that also went into a series called Better Call Saul. Breaking Bad was a series, a picture about a high school chemist that turned into a methamphetamine drug dealer.
What kind of commercial are you looking at?
But listen, it was the same guys in this. But listen, it was a commercial about Pop Corners. It was called Pop Corners. It was a potato chip, and so the guy.
What year was this?
2022.
You remember the year? 22?
Yeah, 2022.
Okay. Yeah.
The guy that was playing the chemist, the former teacher, he had cancer and he just went into this funk and started making methamphetamine with this guy named Jesse. And and they had this bad guy that they dealt with named Tuco. So the chemist and Jesse are in this trailer where they used to do methamphetamine, and Jesse picks up this bag of popcorners, and he said, "Man, these things are going to sell like crazy." So he was talking about methamphetamine like he was in the show, and he goes,
"It's been a European commercial, man. What you killing me, Irv?"
And Walter White said, we can't eat our own supply. So I know somebody I can test it with. He goes to Tuco. These are the guys that were actually in the show. And Tuco, anytime he would snort cocaine or that methamphetamine, he would say, tight. And so he eats the chip. He grabs the chip and eats it and says, tight.
I am so lost.
Y'all have no idea. But that was for me.
I gotta look that up.
Anybody who's seen Breaking Bad, you know what I'm talking about. That was the best Super Bowl commercial I'd ever seen because it related. It was the guys in the movie, and it was crazy. It was really good.
Okay.
Y'all just
so it
don't
was
know
the popcorn in place of the meth.
Right.
And they just acted it all out. Yeah.
But it was called Pop Corners.
Pop Corners?
Yeah, Pop Corners.
Yeah, I didn't see that joint there.
No, I've never heard that one. We have to go YouTube.
No pun intended.
Look at it, man. Pop Corners 2022. Matter of fact, those of you who are watching right now, pull it up somewhere on another device and watch it. 2022 Pop Corners.
Okay. All right.
Jesse, Walter White, and Tuco. They go to Tuco. Tuco snatched the bag. He eats one that says tight.
Lord have mercy. Okay. All right. Hey, whatever works. Okay.
You asked which one was my best Super Bowl commercial. That was the best one.
But I haven't seen that one, so it was hard for me. All right.
I don't remember that at all.
Remember. All right. So here's a good one.
Set the table.
We're setting the table. All right. The best halftime show ever.
Bro.
The best Super Bowl
Ain't but one.
halftime show ever. Fred,
Ain't but
you got to
one.
have one, Fred. I know
Ain't
you
but
got
one.
one.
Man,
There ain't but one.
Hey,
The best.
hey, wait, we got the same one there. It has to be. Well,
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
know. We
No, it's
may
not.
have
No,
a different one. So I go to the Super Bowl in 92, season 92, 93.
okay.
In Pasadena. I think the Cowboys playing the Buffalo. So I'm in the stands, and I'm like, I'm you can rarely impress me. I'm like, yeah, perfect, good job. So Michael Jackson, bros. I see Michael on the jumbotron on one side, his picture, and then he does
Pop up in
this, and he pops up on top of the,
the
and I'm
stage.
like on top of the jumbotron.
Oh,
I'm
that's right.
like,
He did
okay.
start there. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah. And then they show him on the other side, and of course it wasn't him. And he does this on the camera, and he pops up there, and I'm like, whoa! I'm starting to boil. I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And then he goes away, and then he pops up out of the stage, and I'm not, I'm like, yeah, but I was like, I just started screaming. Dude, I just started screaming. I'm like, oh my God,
You lost
this
it. You
dude. And
lost
I lost it. And he stood there for like 5 minutes, just
Frozen.
standing there. And then after 5 minutes, he looks this way, and everybody just goes crazy. And dude, I'm screaming like a little girl in there. I'm like, nobody has ever made me do something like that. And that was actually on the Super Bowl that I went to. But
MJ did. How about that?
Michael Jackson he just blew my mind, man. I mean, the whole just how it was coordinated and how it was done. It was just entertainment at the highest level.
All right. Well, you got Irv. That was pretty good. That's a hard one to top, Irv. What you got?
Man, you better get out of here. Down in Miami in the rain, Prince. Come on, dog.
Ooh.
What? That joker, it was raining. It was a downpour.
And he was singing Purple Rain. Jesus.
Yes, sir. He came out on stage, Doc. He said, the show must go on. It was raining the whole time. He came out, started out with We Will Rock You. And then he went to Let's Go Crazy, started playing his guitar. That's what made him so good. Y'all ever seen any of his shows? That cat, he'd do some old rock and roll. Then he went into some old rock and roll. Then he went into All Along the Watchtower. He sang that. And then he went into Purple Rain. Good God Almighty.
With that purple guitar.
With that purple guitar. Yes, sir. They had this sheet go up or this cloth go up, and you just saw the silhouette of him behind the cloth playing the guitar. Man, shoot, that cat there. He can sing, he can dance. There's nothing instrumental that he couldn't play. There's no song vocally that he could not sing. Prince, it's tragic that he died. It's also tragic that Michael Jackson died. But I believe, man, Prince was, I mean, you have people in here, what, Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Beyonce, Diana Ross, they've all done these shows. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar were together. Usher, was Usher by himself. Aerosmith, Britney Spears,
Janet Jackson.
Oh, NSYNC, Nelly, Mary J. Blige, they were all together. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, they were together. Madonna was by herself. Lady Gaga by herself. The Rolling Stones by herself. Michael Jackson by herself. Prince was better than all of them, y'all. Prince, watch his stuff and listen to him, man. When he did a concert, he didn't just sing his songs, man. He sang other people's songs and kill it. I mean, absolutely kill it. And his musicianship with the guitar was absolutely epic. It was just epic. Prince.
Well, that
I got a quick story. So we played in Minnesota. I don't know if it's my rookie year or my second year. So we go out to a club, and of course, they don't do that now. So we go out to a club, and somebody said, "Bro, Prince want to meet everybody," and I'm like, "Whoa, what?" Prince was there, and I turn around and I literally turn around and I'm like this. Oh, hey. He's like 5 foot tall. And when he said hello, it was like, hello. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, had a deep voice. Yeah.
Dude had Barry White voice, man.
Yeah.
It was like spiritual meeting him, man.
Yeah, man.
This dude is so talented, and it's like even when his presence was like spiritual. It was like on another level. I'm sitting here looking at him like this dude don't even look real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just something. There's just something, an aura about him that just like blew me away.
That's pretty good, man. I tell you what, Irv, that was my selection as well. Was Prince. And you know, just preparing for this, I went back and looked at it. He had the whole stadium saying, "Ooh,
yeah,
ooh." He had the whole stadium saying that.
Yep.
And they was having a good time. And the funny little known fact is, you know this, Irv, I grew up right across the canal where the stadium is.
Right.
And actually where we lived, you could see the Jumbotron from our front door.
Wow.
And that was pretty cool. But you know, Prince was
now
good.
Where did you grow up, Mike? Where'd you grow up?
In Miami.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
But see, here's the funny thing. So that was my number one pick. But you know which one I was struggling with? I even went by the Nipplegate with Janet Jackson.
But,
Janet Jackson. when the nipple fell out.
Nipplegate.
Yeah. We were like, what? So I'm gonna give you one that you guys thought about.
Justin Timberlake's.
No, but yeah, but Dr. Dre and the whole rap crew.
Remember that's the one I mentioned. That you
did mention that.
Yeah, I mentioned Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar. They were all. That was 2022.
Remember, he had the whole stage was like a day and all that kind of stuff. It was well choreographed.
It was good. Yeah,
it was at the right. It was it for me. So
it was good.
All right. All right, so Irv, shout out a few people. They talking about Prince as well. Prince and Michael.
That's JC said Prince first, Michael second. That's JC said that. Richard Melton, don't watch Breaking Bad, but don't watch. He didn't watch Breaking Bad, but he remembers the commercial. Billy Bell, what are you saying? He said Walter. What are you saying, Billy Bell?
Well,
Holly Golightly's back on the menu for the best menu for the Super Bowl. She says black beans to that. I don't know which one she's adding black beans to it. Eddie Casper was talking about the Budweiser frogs as far as his favorite commercial.
Yeah, that was
those frogs were crazy. We shouted everybody out. Richard Melton is in the house now. My mom's in the house. Richard, welcome back. We know you're still probably suffering a little bit. You're in mourning. Vincent Capriati's still in the house. He said wings and pulled pork.
All right. So hey, Richard. Okay. So we're still setting the table. We're bringing it down now. We're putting the silverware on the table. So here's the silverware. So now we're gonna get more into the football. The comeback player of the year. Now we had a lot of comeback stories this year, but we want to know before they do the awards tomorrow, what's your pick for the comeback player of the year? Irv, since you're the oldest, we're gonna go with you first.
Well, this guy, he was up for it last year, but he's up for it again this year, just because he didn't play much last year, and this year he ended up starting, and that's DeMar Hamlin. He is on the list as the comeback. Now, to me, that's it. There is no. I mean, this cat died on the field. They had to resuscitate him. They had to, put the chakras on and clear and bring him back to consciousness and to get back on the field and play and not be apprehensive, not
play well,
be concerned.
like that.
Yeah, play well. And he started this year for the Bills because they got rid of a couple of safeties. So he's like my hero, man. I know, Mike. I know you remember when I suffered that injury in Philly. I was playing for Washington. My spinal cord went into spasm. I got off the field because I was taught early in my career in the NFL, don't you ever lay down on the field. I don't care if you're Steve Nelson told me that, Mike. If your leg is broken, I don't care. You get your butt up and get your behind off the field. We'll take care of you on the sideline. So I was able, time for you to start hang it up. And I was like, Hamlin, no, I had to get back. So I know the drive. I know where he's coming from, but this is a whole nother level. When you look at this cat, he literally died on the field, and they resuscitated him, and it took him a while to recover. So the fight back and the determination and the focus and the courage to get back on the field and to play at a high level, because you got to play. You can't fake it in the NFL. And as a defensive back, you got to come up and tackle people. You got to come up and hit people. You can't soft your way around the football field. You'll get hurt again. And he's back and he's playing. He got his first interception this season. So hats off to him. Last year, I believe he should have gotten it. He only played 5 games last year, but they gave it to Flacco. Why they gave it to Flacco, I don't know. Flacco was just an old guy coming back playing. He didn't really overcome. He was an old guy, and he came back and played well. But he didn't overcome anything like this. In my opinion, the comeback player of the year every year should be someone in this lane where they've had a severe injury or a serious injury, and they've had to overcome it, where it was thought that maybe they might not return, but they were able to get themselves together, work hard, heal, get strong, and come back and get back on the field and be an asset to the team. Hamlin's my comeback player of the year.
Irv, you just made a great point, in that it's not in the description of the award, and you said be an asset, not just come back, but to be an asset. Let me read the description. The description of the award. It's a player of the award. It's a player who demonstrates resilience in the face of adversity by overcoming illness, physical injury, or other circumstances that led him to miss playing time the previous season. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you be an asset or just be an all-pro player or what have you.
Right.
But I think it should, which is a great point that you made. I picked Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, as I think we all talked about him last year in his wrist injury. He missed 7 games. He didn't play in but 10 games. And some of the numbers that he put up with not a lot of help this year, I think, was astronomical. I mean, it just blows me away to see some of the numbers that he put up. And you know that he was out 7 games last year. He only played 10 games. As I mentioned, he threw for like 2,300 yards last year, 15 touchdowns, even in 10 games, and have 6 interceptions and 66% of his passes complete. This year, he throws for 49, almost 5,000 yards, 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns in 17 games, have 9 interceptions, and 70% completion rate. 7 out of 10 passes he complete, which is crazy. And when you do that average, that's a 290 yards a game that he's throwing for.
Under pressure.
And under pressure. And the interesting thing about that is I often hear his name mentioned when you talk about the top quarterbacks. And I'm like, and you know what? I'm looking at the wins and losses. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, wow, this cat is amazing, dude. He's amazing. And I think this guy, once he gets everything in order, the offensive line, if he get Chase back, I'm not sure if Chase is signed or if that thing's going to happen. But here's a guy who I think is going to shatter rather a lot of numbers, of some of the guys before him, like Brady, like Manning, those guys. So that's my comeback player of the year. He had a great season. Of course, the team didn't have a great season. But last year, with missing 7 games, that wrist injury, and I know I can imagine, at his position, having that type of injury. It wasn't a knee, it wasn't a shoulder, it wasn't ribs or whatever. It was this wrist injury that he couldn't shake off. And I can remember us talking about, how their success kind of depended on how he could, just pull through this injury, and he wasn't able to do it as best as he could. but he came back with a vengeance, and now they need more talent.
Well, I agree a little bit with what you said, but Hamlin is my pick for a lot of the reasons that Irv talked about. I mean, like you said, he flatlined. I mean, the guy was literally dead on the football field. And so when you compare that for me with Joe Burrow, I mean, Joe Burrow had a fantastic year, but that's a wrist as opposed to a heart for me.
For sure.
For what Hamlin was able to do, and not only that, he was able to have Joe Biden sign Hearts Act into law, that they have AEDs in all the schools now. So there's a lot that he accomplished by coming back and showing that type of resilience. Because we had talked about it, we weren't sure whether he should even try and come back.
Yeah.
No, sir.
After that, because that was our fear, but he put all that to bed and came out. But Joe Burrow did have a fantastic year. The numbers were crazy.
And I think the technical part of this is that it states, when it describes the award, it's him missing the play of the previous season, in which he did play, but he didn't play. Yeah, I think you mentioned play. He played 5 games or something like that.
But he did miss because of
which was the previous season. But that makes a point. That's a good point, because he did miss those other games because of the that, residual from that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
good
just the sentimental pick. I just think if you had the fans that voted for this award, I think it would be a.
It'd be Hamlin's hand down.
Yeah. So he had an episode of Comatio cordis. It's a rare condition in which the cardiac rhythm is disrupted by a blow to the chest. And 97% fatality. There's a 97% fatality if it's not treated within 3 minutes. So hats off to those trainers. Hats off to the EMTs who were there. That was just a scary moment for a lot of people. And Joe Burrow was my pick last week, Fred, for Offensive Player of the Year. I picked him last week. But comeback player of the year. This cat's special.
Can you imagine Hamlin's his thought process going out on that field and hitting someone?
Right.
I mean, that had to be. You had to,
because none of us ever go out. At least, none of us have ever gone on the field thinking, about that other guy, about the one who's we've never been scared of the guy who's across from us. We've never been in awe of the guy who's across from us. Yeah. We're going to whoop his behind. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever they put in front of me is getting smoked.
Yeah.
So for him to have almost seen the light, literally, and to come back and to play fearless, because you have to be fearless. To literally be fearless is just outstanding. And we have that kind of fortitude. We have that kind of mindset. We have that kind of push when we're younger like that. We think we're invincible. We know we're not, but we think we are. And he's an example of that. I'm glad he's playing, but he's a courageous dude. He really is. And he's not foolish. I don't think he's being foolish. I just think football is what he loves to do. And it was a rare incident. It wasn't something that he's in danger of happening again. It's just rare that it happened the way it happened. But hats off to him for coming back and playing.
All right. Well, we're at that time. We are the main course.
The main course.
You ready, Fred? Main course, brother. All right.
Main
our
course.
Super Bowl predictions. Our Super Bowl predictions. I think I'm gonna start first and go ahead and get mine out of the way, because I know
have mercy.
Y'all too. All right, know what y'all too. I'm gonna go ahead and get mine. Out of the way. All right. So thinking about
49ers.
Hold on. That was my pick at the beginning of the year. There's no question. And had it not been for those injuries, they'd have been there, Fred. So
you think?
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So here it is. The Eagles, number 1 defense. KC's offense, very close, sporadic all year. But I got a few questions. I'm wondering how will Philly play if they get behind? I'm concerned about that a little bit. Okay. KC needs a strong run game. I think they need that to balance it. But here's what I'm scared of. That's why I'm scared to pick against Philly. Barkley seems to be on a mission. He's running like his hair on fire. And I just kind of think that he is on such a tear right now. It's hard to pick against him. However, there's some factors here.
Of course.
Remember last year's Super Bowl? Mahomes, 1 minute and 53 seconds left in regulation. He took Kansas City on an 11-play drive, went 64 yards, and he kicked the field goal, and they got into overtime. Then San Francisco, the same San Francisco that you're talking about, Fred, they were up 22-19. Holmes takes his team down 75 yards on 13 plays and converted 4th and 1, 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
He had a long run. Then he hits McCole Hardman for a 3-yard touchdown, and they win the game 25-22. In addition to that, he finished the game 333 yards, 34-46, 2 TDs, 1 interception, ran for 66 yards, 99.3 passer rating.
With a bad ankle.
What he did, guys.
With a bad ankle.
And he won his third, mind you, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick against him, man. I love Barkley, everything he's doing. I think Philly has a great team. That question.
I think you don't like Philly, Mike, which is fine.
No. Don't start this.
You haven't picked Philly for no reason.
Yes, I have. Here's my pick. My pick is Kansas City. Kansas City 24. The Eagles 17. I can't go against Mahomes and lead. I can't go against them. I can't go against them. So that's my pick.
So the Eagles going to score 27. Going to score 17 points.
I said 24.
And they may have 17 at halftime, Mike.
Okay. All right. I know there's a lot of experts out there that are picking Kansas City as well. So I ain't by myself. You got the floor, brother.
Go ahead, Fred.
Oh, yeah, I go because I know Herb. You go lay that thing out.
I just got a couple of things.
No, you like it. We're talking about the last game for all the marbles. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When the Eagles scored 55 against Washington, which, Mike, you thought Washington going to win. I digress.
I ain't scared.
When the Eagles scored 55, I got worried. I got worried that they would up. It's done. But that 2 weeks, I think, was enough for me. And now let me say this, and I'm, y'all know me. I'm gonna be honest.
You got an Eagles shirt on too.
Okay. No, I'm gonna be honest. If the Eagles were the worst team in this matchup, I would say that. The Eagles are not the worst team in this matchup. The Eagles are the better team in this matchup, period. Okay. You can say what you want. You can talk about Mahomes and fine. That's fine. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the game because the game has to be played. And it takes everyone to be focused to make sure no mistakes are made, no turnovers, no foolish plays, no crazy penalties that could possibly lead, to the team that you're better than getting beating you. I look at that last Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs, and when I looked at that Super Bowl, I saw them right there. I saw them the way the bookies are looking at it right now, which is Kansas City +1 or -1 at this point. I think 1.5 or something like that. I saw it right there. And when you see it right there, when you see it even right there, at that point, the question is, who's going to screw it up. Not who's going to win or lose it, but who's going to screw it up. And KC wins 35-32. And I think Jalen fumbled a ball that they ran in for a touchdown. So, in my opinion, that was the pivotal point where, okay, that we'll take those extra points. It's like they started off with 7 points at that point.
I had a question for you.
And hold up, I'm still talking. So I see it this way. It comes down to, in my opinion, and it when I thought, of course, Detroit was going to beat Washington, and I felt that the Eagles was going to do not necessarily what Washington did to Detroit, but at least go to Detroit and beat them. And I say the Eagles are going to win, and I say if there was a unit to be the most valuable, not necessarily one player, but the unit would be the most valuable unit of the Super Bowl would be the Eagles' defensive line, and I think they are the ones who's going to make that thing happen.
Okay, what's your score?
My score, 31-24.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you a quick question, and then we'll let Irv go.
Sure.
A minute and 50 seconds left in the game. Who do you want playing quarterback, Mahomes or Hurts?
Who do I want playing quarterback?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Who
do you want at quarterback?
So Mahomes to not win and Hurts to win.
Just your team.
Your team.
What quarterback? Who would you want playing quarterback
on your team?
Mike, that's not a fair question because no. It's not a fair question. It's not a fair question because here's the deal.
Hey, what's the movie? Just answer the question.
No, I can't answer that question.
Answer the question.
Because can I put Mahomes with Kellen Moore?
Can you just answer the question?
No, I can't answer that question. It's not fair.
Well,
it's not fair because we're talking two different teams.
It's a hyper. We're not talking about a team. He's saying that if it's your team, not Eagles, not Chiefs, if it's your team, you're on the team, and there's a minute and 50 seconds
left. What offensive lineman do I have? Who are my offensive lineman?
He's not asking lineman. He's asking which quarterback do you want?
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, Mahomes. I'll say that. I'll say this. Mahomes is the much more mature and better quarterback than Hurts. For sure.
Okay. So
I'm fair.
So Mahomes is your
Mahomes is a better quarterback than Hurts.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Say it again.
Oh, Mahomes is a better quarterback than Hurts.
Okay.
I'll say that.
We got it on record. Okay, go ahead, Irv.
I'm confused.
There's a couple of.
We're not playing tennis.
I believe the Eagles are going to win this game, but there's going to be, obviously, there's always a chess match in the game. I was looking at the Chiefs receivers. Obviously, they have a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. There's Xavier Worthy. There's Hollywood Brown. They have Juju Smith-Schuster as a wide receiver, Justin Watson, and DeAndre Hopkins. And I'm thinking to myself, how come they not lighting it up?
Lighten it up.
Why are they, all them cats? These, they're all ballers. Xavier Worthy was a first-round draft pick this year as a receiver. They're all. Why are they not lighting? There's a question mark there in my mind as to why. I mean, I didn't go back and watch any film or anything like that as to what's going on. I believe it's because they've just had problems on their offensive line, and Patrick Mahomes has had to not necessarily run the ball using his leg, but use his legs to buy time, to create space, and to get the ball down the field to his wide receivers. But on time throws within rhythm, I'm not thinking they're doing that. They're not doing that like they have been the last couple of years. Patrick Mahomes is going to, and those receivers are going to have a challenge this week that they have not had thus far. This defensive backfield, under the tutelage of, or under the leadership of Vic Fangio, man, he's got those cats not just up front playing well. We know Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis; those cats are balling up front. Sweat, they're all balling up front. We know Zach Bond, all pro, balling at the linebacker position. Nolan Smith, they're playing well, man. But that secondary, when you watch and see the ball snap, those cats are evenly spaced on the field. There's not a lot of wide open spaces or areas for the quarterback to throw the ball. You haven't seen a lot of receivers running wide open this year against that secondary. Young secondary, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay. Darius Slay balling the last few weeks. He's been really balling, and he's the oldest guy on there. When the ball is caught, bang, they're swarming around. And there's not a whole lot of yards after catch in that secondary. So they're going to be challenged in that area. And I believe because of the push that the Eagles get up front defensively, that because of the coverage, there's going to be some coverage sacks or some coverage hurries or some coverage misfires for Patrick Mahomes and that offense. Now, I spoke last year about how the Chiefs run their offense from a condensed from a condensed line. Their formation is condensed. I forget how many yards it was that I said last year, but when you watch them, you'll see the outside guys rarely outside the numbers. They're usually inside the numbers or on the numbers. They're rarely outside the numbers. And that's the way they like to run their offense, because that creates space for them on the outside. Sometimes that works good, but guess what? Sometimes that doesn't work good for you, because on the X side, the weak side receiver, there are a lot of defenses when that X side receiver is within 5 yards of the offensive tackle. That's an automatic corner blitz that's going to happen. The Patriots used to do it. Maurice Hurst caught a touchdown on him with that when I was in Miami, because when you're on the short side of the field, you're the X receiver and you have a short split. That's an automatic dog for that corner. So the battle between, I say that to say this, the battle between Jalen Hurts and Spagnuolo. You watch Jalen Hurts this year. Jalen is making a lot of changes at the line of scrimmage. There have been quite a few of Saquon Barkley's long runs where you'll see at the beginning of that play, Jalen goes up to the line of scrimmage and he makes a change, and then he hands the ball off to the side that he changed the play to. So he changed the play from a bad play to a better play, and then Saquon takes off and makes a long run. So that responsibility the last couple of years, if you remember, when Jason Kelce was there, Jason Kelce was making those calls. He'd come up to the line of scrimmage with the ball at center, and he'd sit up and start pointing the finger and talking to everybody. Jalen wasn't making those decisions. This year, Jalen's making those decisions. But in that, he's doing a good job. And they have to, because I've seen the Eagles run some of those reduced fronts, reduced formations. With Spagnuolo, you got to spread them out. One, you can't reduce the formation, and they can't reduce the formation against the Chiefs, because that's going to help them stop the run. Why? You got more people closer to the box.
Boxed in.
Because a corner or a nickel safety can come down and cover the pass and the run. Why? Because you got it reduced. They got to spread them out to give Saquon, because that's going to be the number one goal for the Chiefs in this game, to stop the run.
Saquon.
So the way the Eagles give themselves a better chance and give Jalen a better chance to see what's happening pre-snap, spread them out. Then you also see Jalen, which is a great job on Jalen's part. You'll see them run into no huddle every now and then. You'll see them run a play, and then they'll go into a no huddle. Not a hurry up offense, but a no huddle. Why is he doing that? Because Jalen recognizes a defensive package and personnel that they like to run certain plays against, and he wants to keep that defensive personnel on the field. So they'll go into a no huddle, not a hurry up, to keep that defensive package on the field, because they have a certain set of plays they know they can have success against that defensive personnel. Jalen has gotten really good at that, managing this team. I believe this team has a feel about it, of momentum and unity and force.
And your score is what?
Why you cut me off, man?
Mike, I got something to say after this, Mike. So
I know you
got
do.
another 2 minutes.
But I sense something with this team, man, that they're all moving in the same direction and they're all together, man. You know that's important. Where they're all on the same page and they all care about one another. It's like a family, man. And there's a force behind them that's positive that I just don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to handle. I just don't. They're a great team, the Chiefs, they are. But the Eagles are better this year. Eagles, you know what? The Eagles are going to bust 40 on them.
What?
Ooh.
Yep, 40-21.
Ooh. Let me say this too, Mike, and I know you guys see this, and you see this with very experienced quarterbacks. What they do is they do an extended cadence. They go to the line and they and what they do that, of course, you guys know this. They get the defense to show what they're going to do. Okay, once you showing me what you're going to do, because you thought I was going to hike the ball at that point, and I didn't. So you're going to stay with that. Now I'm going to change the play because you showed me you're in man, you're in zone, or what have you. And I let me say this, Mike, and I think you'd like this. If I had my druthers, if that's a word, I think I've used that quite a bit, to have Jalen Hurts in the winning drive, to have either Jalen Hurts to win to have a drive to win the game, or have the Eagles defense on the field to stop Mahomes, I would rather see Hurts on the field, simply because stopping Mahomes is really kind of trying to stop the referees as well. So
here we go with the referees.
Let me just add that.
The show done went left. The show done went left. Fred done took the show left.
Oh, bro, they every game that Kansas City has is some questionable call.
So
every game,
all of those are factors.
every game.
That says KC may have the edge. In addition, they're going for 3 doggone straight Super Bowls.
True.
In addition, you keep forgetting who's the better coach. Who's the better coach? Tell me who's the better coach.
Reid.
Well, Andy Reid. But Andy Reid don't play. Andy Reid ain't out there playing the game.
Don't play.
Well, he sure gets a lot of credit, and y'all give him a lot of credit when y'all give him, when you do give him credit.
Mike,
So
you thought the Commanders were going to beat the Eagles.
I sure did.
They started playing basketball at halftime. Put up 55.
There's Mike.
That's my point.
There's no way.
Why? Because I had one game wrong. There's a lot of people that picked the Washington.
You had a lot of game wrong, Mike. You lasted on the picks.
Listen, there's no way. There's no way that the Chiefs are going to win this game. There's no way.
Okay. All right. Well, the experts have spoken. That's why y'all need to go to Vegas. The experts have said. Because there's a lot of people that's picking Kansas City. So let me ask you this. So who's your MVP? Having said that, who's going to be the MVP of the game? Okay, I'll give you mine. Mine's easy. Mahomes. Okay. Mine's easy. Mahomes. Go ahead.
I have to give it to Barkley.
Okay.
I have to say Barkley too. As we were talking earlier, Mike, you said it seems like he's on a mission. And there have been teams, even the last game, there are teams that drop 8 in the box, 7 in the box, and they still don't stop the run. They still don't stop the run. So, I mean, and when they do that, they put themselves in a vulnerable position. Why? Because now you got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got Dallas Goedert one-on-one with these defensive backs. And here's
the deal too. You know one reason that Barkley's so successful? That offensive line is more technical than physical.
I don't know about
what.
They're physical. Don't get me wrong. They're physical.
Well, yeah,
they will blow you up.
Right.
But They take care of their responsibilities.
Right. They know what they're doing.
You watch that offensive line, they do exactly what they're supposed to do with what front is in front of them.
That's
and
Stoutland.
They do not make mistakes.
That's the offensive line coach,
They
Stoutland.
do not make mistakes.
They know their assignments. They play together, and they execute, man. They execute.
They do not make a lot of mistakes. Now, you strong enough as a defensive lineman to just blow it all up. Kudos. You got it.
Remember, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Don't forget that. Dropping the pen, dropping the mic.
Did you drop the mic? You dropped the mic on that? Okay. They are the defending champs. They're the champs until they get. They are the champs until they get beat. And shout out to them. Hats off to them. Three Super Bowls in a row. Now the only team I know that's done that in the past is the Buffalo Bills. But they went. Bills. Shout out to them for going 4 years in a row. They lost 4 years in a row. I probably would have had a heart attack by the fourth one. But but think how hard it was for them. Okay, they lost the first one. They go back to the Super Bowl the second year. Then they lose another one. Then they scrape their way back to another one, lose a third one, and yet still find something deep inside themselves to scrape their way back to a fourth Super Bowl, man. That is crazy.
And lost.
And they lost.
Well, it's going to be a good game. And I tell you, I said it at the beginning. I said Barkley scares me. And if he busts off like a 60-yard run the first doggone series, I'm just going to lose my mind.
He is. He going to bust. Listen.
I'm going to lose my mind. So I just want give me a good game.
They're not.
KC's going to see something that they haven't seen before this season.
Exactly.
Okay.
They are.
All right, fellas. Well,
yes, sir.
Show, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We shout out Billy Bell. Billy Bell in the house. Eddie Casper says Jalen Hurts MVP. JC, I see you. Shout out to you, sister. Who else? I said Eddie Casper. My mother's still in the house. She said, Mike, are you trying to hurt my feelings? She said that about you choosing the Kansas City Chiefs. My mother said you hurt my mama's feelings, man. JC said, go Birds. Richard Melton still in the house. Holly Go Lightly is still in the house. God bless all of y'all for joining us. Let me see. Who else? Yeah. I said Richard, JC, Vincent Capriati, Holly Go Lightly, Eddie Casper, Tainted Rose, Catherine. Is that how you say it again? The last name? Massa. Catherine. Edward Crawley. Ed Crawley's in the house.
Crawley.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. Shout out to all of y'all. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Tell your friends about us. Share us with your friends. How about that? Like us. Subscribe to us. Let your friends know about us. Wow. White House World.
Great Super Bowl. All right. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm headed down, man. I'm headed down to New Orleans Friday.
Oh, when you leave?
New Orleans.
Oh, you leave Friday?
Friday, yeah. I'm not coming back till Tuesday. I'm not coming back when all those people are coming back on Monday.
All right. Take some good pictures so we can share with the.
I'm gonna take some good stuff. Check me out. Check my Instagram page out. Sign up to my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe. That way, when I go live on Instagram, it'll pop up on your phone and you can check me out. Everybody, y'all too.
All right. Well, until next time, same place, same channel next week. I'm Michael Timpson. This is Irving Fryar. That's Fred Barnett. We'll see you next time on Wideout's World.
Surprise. We out of here.
This has been Wideout's World. Touchdown. Not one, not two, but three NFL legends. Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Are you freaking kidding me? If it's football talk you're looking for, I think we've got you covered. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on YouTube at Wideouts World. See you next time.
Let's go!